జై శ్రీరామ్ టు ఎవ్రీవన్ అండి. పద్మ గారు, వి కెన్ స్టార్ట్ అండి. జై శ్రీరామ్.
Janu garu, if you're ready, we'll start, ma.
Yes, jai Shri Ram.
Jai Shri Ram. Harihi Om Asmadgurubhyo Namaha Srimate Ramanujaya Namaha Ramaya Ramabhadraya Ramachandraya Vedase Raghunathaya Nathaya Sitaya Pataye Namaha Apadamapahartaram Dataram Sarvasampadam Lokabhiramam Sriramam Bhuyo Bhuyo Namamyaham Champa Madhyaspuranila Toyadajyati Vigraham Sitaya Alingitam Ramam Kalaye Abhishta Siddhaye Dharmatma Satyasanthasya Ramo Dasarathiriyadi Paurusheja Pratidvandvah Sarenam Jihiravanim Sakrudeva Prapannaya Tava Smiti Jayachate Abhayam Sarvabhutebhyo Dadam Yetat Pratam Mama Tvamasmin Karya Niryoge Pramanam Harisatama राघवत्वत्समारम्भात् मयि यत्नपरो भवेत् यत्र यत्र रघुनाथकीर्तनं तत्र तत्र कृतमस्तकाञ्जलिं बाष्पवारि परिपूर्णलोचनं मारुतिं नमत राक्षसान्तकम् हरिः ओम् हरिः ओम् हरिः ओम् Jai Shri Ram, Jai Hanma everyone. It's my pleasure to invite Jahnavi Vadipati Garu, our Seva member, at the Radri Sri Rama temple for the past 6-7 years now. She lives in Kansas City and she is a software professional and she is also a project manager at General Electric. So without any delay, with Guru Garu's blessings and Rao Garu's best wishes, we're going to start the program as well as invite Jahnavi Garu to take us on the topic. Jai Shri Ramandi, Jahnavi Garu.
Jai Shri Ram and Padma garu. Thank you for the introduction, Andy. Jai Shri Ram. Ramaya Ramabhadraya Ramachandraya Vedase Raghunathaya Nathaya Sitaya Pataye Namaha Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu Guru Devo Maheshwaraha Guru Sakshat Parabrahma Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Jai Shri Ram to one and all who is attending this presentation. We have been this wonderful opportunity of presenting our point of view on certain topics of Ramayana through Kalpavruksham. As Padma garu mentioned, my name is Jahnavi Vadipati. I learned Tirupavai from Vishnu Chitta Gurukulam. BSRD Temple's own university in the making. A blessed opportunity was provided by our Guru Acharya Garu. Tirupavai was I joined Tirupavai in the first batch of Tirupavai sessions conducted by the Vishnu Chitta Gurukulam. I was really fascinated by many references of Ramayana, Bhagavatam, Vedas, and Puranas in every word uttered by Andal Taya and explained by Srimati Nirmala Mami Garu. She gave us several references of Ramayana in her explanations and as Purvacharyas dictated. So that kind of put me into a perspective of thinking, even in a lot of our Puranas and lot of our Vedas go back to Ramayana. And Ramayana being one of the closest and nearest and dearest Puranam to us, and seeing all these references in Tirupavai kind of brought me to this topic. And as I have mentioned in the slide, my topic is Ramayana references in Tirupavai. I think everybody's life, everybody's way of living, especially in Hindu Sanatana Dharma, we follow Rama's principle, and even to a child, when a father is teaching about being disciplined, being obedient in our lives, we always give a greatest example of Lord Sri Rama. So, and seeing his references in a lot of other Puranas that we are looking through and other Kirtanas that we are singing through, kind of brought me to here. So again, Tirupavai all by itself is a very, very, very big, vast ocean, and I'm trying to just collect a single drop from it. Hope I can make this a good presentation for you all. Really grateful to Nirmala Mami, whose teaching motivated me to do this presentation. And also, when I contacted her recently talking about my topic, she was very, very enthusiastic and gave me her complete guidance and helped me elaborate the points in the passages that I was going to present. Also to Srimati Chitra, who immensely helped me preparing this Theopari presentation. As I mentioned, Tirupavai, to understand the ultimate, Tirupavai is basically told by Srimati Andal Tayar for us to understand the ultimate reality and to attain mukti. So Andal was an incarnation of Goda Devi, and that is what we believe in. And Andal Tirupavai has given us a lot of how to conduct our day-to-day activities through devotion and understanding the ultimate reality and then attain mukti. Andal is one among the 12 alvars who taught us how to submit oneself to the Supreme Lord, Srimad Narayana, by surrendering and performing Kaikarya. They incarnated on earth to give us the amazing kirtanas, also to show us how our lives and how our lives should be lived, and they led us by the examples of the king, how the both enemies that are there present between internal and external doors. They presented us about 4,000 kirtanas composed, and those are called as Nalayurdam Divya Prabandham. According to the literary and religious tradition, Periyalvar, or also called as Vishnu Chittan, was an ardent devotee of Perumal or Vishnu, and he used to make garlands to deity every day. He was childless, and then he prayed to God for him to bless a child. And one day he found a girl under a tulsi plant in a garden inside of the temple. The child was considered to be goddess Bhudevi, who was Andal Perumal herself. He named the child Kotai, and who also grew up and also imbibed her with a lot of Krishna stories and avatars of Vishnu. So she believed in her dedication by presenting to a temple garland to the temple Perumal every day. And and her devotion was to make sure that the garland presenting to the god didn't have any thorns or didn't have any sticks sticking onto the altar. So she used to always put the garland on her, ensuring that all these garlands were good enough for the god and then put him to the god. So seeing this garland owned by uh, her, Andal itself, she was named Andal as well. And later in her life, Periyalvar took Andal to the Ranganatha Swami temple in the Srirangam, and Andal was reunited with Vishnu as his bride. So Andal is one of the female alvars among the 12 alvars that you see in the slide there.
జాహ్నవి గారు, జై శ్రీరామ్ అండి.
Yes, Veda.
జాహ్నవి గారు,
Yes, Andy. Can you hear me?
yeah, you're very low. It's not clear, and moreover, your presentation is also not moving. It's just stuck in the first screen. Sorry, just wanted to let you know, Andy.
Sorry. Let me share the wrong screen.
Probably you turned that way, Kada, so your voice might be little unclear. If you could just.
Let me reshare again. Give me 1 second. Can you see the slide already?
Yes, Andy. Yes.
Can you see the one with Andal in the slide only?
Yes, Andy.
Thank you. And let me see if I can move myself onto the side so that I can. To Tirupavai, Andal in
Jahnavi
Margashira
Garu,
Masam.
sorry, Andy,
Yes,
we cannot see because you minimized the screen. We cannot see it, Andy. Previously, it was seen, you just minimized it. That's it.
Jadvi garu multiple screens ఉన్నాయండి monitors. I think it moved on to the other monitor, I guess.
okay, looking through only. Can you see now only?
Ledandy, it's not sharing. You're still not on sharing, I think. Can you see the Tupanchakam screen now only? Or can you? Now we can see, Andy.
Okay, thank you.
Jai Shri.
Just was talking about Alvar and sorry, I missed. I think these are the 12 Arwal saints, and as I mentioned, Goda Devi is the only female among all the 12 Arwars. So as I mentioned, Goda Devi came into this world to teach how to teach many values and principles. In the past, God took many incarnations and formed to set people on the right path of life. So Andal Devi kind of taught us, even being a human, we can make sure that by the values of chanting the Lord's name, offering beautiful flowers, and always staying in the satsang, always not only doing kainkariam to the God but also to the Bhagavatas, we can attain salvation, and that was her motivation in life. So through Tirupavai, Andal in Margari Masam observed a vrata for 30 days, which we call Dhanurmasa Vrata. Waking up early before the dawn, Andal Amma used to sing Pasuram, which is like similar to a shloka in our on Swami. And even to date, the Dhanurmatam Vratam is observed by reciting the 30 Pasurams. So the love for her Swami was so intense that the Tirupavai took upon and sung in as part of the Nitya Anusasanam in Tirumalai even today during the Dhanurmasam. And that is done instead of Suprabhatam. So that is the supremacy of Tirupavai that presented by Taya. Though Andal was from Kali Yugam and Sri Krishna and Gopikas were from Treta Yugam, her love for Krishna was so immense that she imagined Srivaliputtur, her own native, to be Gokulam and started the Vratam by procedure of awakening all the girls or Gopikas in her village and to proceed to the river bed with bhajan and bathing to the deity is what Tirupavai starts from. Tirupavai teaches us how to feel emotion while praying to the Lord and enables us to perceive Prakriti, Paramatma, and Jivatma, merging them into each other's by following the Parabhakti. Andal's 30 songs contains the cardinal principles of Vaishnavism through which during the month of Margali and Andal assumes that the guise of the cowherd girl or Gopika herself in all these 30 verses. And Andal appears the intent upon performing a particular religious on how to marry Vishnu and remain on his everlasting company, inviting all her friends to join and serve her with her. So, on the surface level, Tirupavai teaches her spending the auspicious time of Brahmamurtam, power of satsang, importance of servicing to the devotees, and importance of an acharya. In depth, it teaches about the Vedic knowledge, Artha Panchakam, and to attain eternal bliss of Sriman Narayana is the Upaya and Upeya. A little bit about Artha Panchakam. Artha Panchakam basically talks about 5 important rules or principles of our life as to who we are, who is the Lord, what is our goal, what are the ways to attain our goal, and the hindrances in attaining our goal. The above points might seem simple, but if we think deeply, we realize that these carry answers to a lot of spiritual questions. One might also understand that these points are the answers that we look for to escape the vicious cycle of life and death. For a layman, it answers questions like what is the birth, death, who created him, what is he, who is he, or what are the basic uh, reason of his birth, and also the basic 5 truths of every Sri Vaishnava should know. So, so Anda's Tirupavai kind of gives us this over justification of this Artha Panchatakam and kind of explains us and takes us through this margam of getting mukti. So who we are is Swaswarupa, who is the Lord is Paraswarupa, what is our goal is Purushartha Swarupa, and the ways to attain our goal is Upaya Swarupa, and the hindrances in attaining our goal is the Virodhi Swarupa. And these form the Artha Tirupalli also teaches us the 9 types of bhakti, which is kind of embodiment in all Bhagavatas that we have learned. The 9 types of bhakti in every pasuram talks about Shravana or listening to the ancient text, Kirtana or praying, and Smarana, remembering the teachers of ancient text, and Padasevana, service to the feet of the Lord, and Archana, worshipping Him, Namaskaram or Vandana, bowing to the divine, and Dasya, service to the divine, and Sakyata, friendship to the divine. In Andal Tirupavai, there are references like Vainal Padi, Manadinal Sindikka, which refers and talks to about Shravana, Kirtana, and Smarana. And Adipodiya refers to the Padasevana and Namaskarams that we do in our Bhakti. And Navam Palavam Navindrelor Embavai. So it talks about Archana to Narayana to make a Paramatma and to give the Dasyam and Atma Nivedanam to the God. All are referenced in terms of Gopikas for us to understand it in terms of a layman and not in terms of thinking about high saints or gurus who have already attained the mukti in their life. The other thing that Tirupavai talks about is the 9 types of relationship with Sriman Narayana. Ramayana is the example that we give when we talk about Rama. He was the best son anybody could have, and he was the best husband any wife could have. He was the best friend to Sugriva, and he through a lot of devotion, like Shabari and everybody else, showed us how we can have a good relationship with Sriman Narayana itself. The pictures in the slide depicts few of the things that you can think about. Like it shows about Shabari, it shows about Sugriva, it shows about um, Rama treating the sparrow or the squirrel itself of the Urta Bhakti and things like that. So even by serving toward the least possible, we can have a relationship with Sriman Narayana, and that is what Tirupavai talks about. Tirupavai structure itself has 3 taniyans followed by 30 pasurams. The first Taniyan was written by Parasar Bhattar, and Taniyam 2 and 3 were written by Udakodiyar, and the rest of the 30 Pasurams, as mentioned, was herself sung and written by Andal Thayar. The first 5 verses in Tirupavai were introduction to the divine work, where Andal has elaborated the prerequisite for understanding or undertaking the vow to attain the ultimate goal of serving the Lord Sri Krishna. While trying to take part in the river with a heavy flow of water, we try to hold others' hand rather than entirely going around. Similarly, when starting and enjoying the ocean of the divine qualities of the Lord, Anda tries to wake up all her gopikas in the verses 16 to 15, and it is a customary to surrender to the divine feet of the Lord with the support of elders and masters and devotees and well versed Vedas. As far as the vow in the second Pasuram, that they will not do anything against the customs and tradition of saying under indulgence in waking up the gopis before the actual proceeding towards the place of the vrata. But when gopikas have equal devotion towards Krishna, why will one sleep and understand what is and stand outside to wake her up? This is due to the way each one got involved in devotion. So when Andal is trying to wake up, she's not waking up from their uh, eternal sleep. It's because she's waking up from their Krishnanubhavam so that they can also enjoy the Vratam that she's trying to hold in the Tirupavai. Which Kankaryam is superior? This is one of the best examples of doing Bhagavad Kankaryam. Tirupavai gives us one of the best example of doing Tirupavai by comparing the devotion of Lakshmana, Bharata, and Shatrughna, and whose Kankaryam is the supreme Kankaryam that we can think of. Lakshmana, the name itself derives from 2 words, Lakshmi and Man, which means one who is composed of a lot of devotion. Lakshmana teaches us to serve Rama. We have served and served through Sita Devi is the embodiment of devotion. Lakshmana stayed with Rama for 14 years to protect Rama and Sita, who were exiled in the forest. He used to walk ahead of them to avoid them stepping on any of the thorns or any other thing that might harm them in the forest. He was the wealthiest person because he had the wealth of devotion of service. He left his wife to serve Rama and showed how to serve the Lord. He sacrificed everything. in his sleep, his wife, his opulence, his throne, and and uh, but still had the divine experience of serving Sri Rama. Lakshman teaches us that if we want to serve the Lord, we should be ready to sacrifice. The more we sacrifice in service, the more progress we can make in reaching our goal or reaching to the God itself. So, and Bharata is the embodiment of burden of service. Bharata means bhara. Bhara means the weight or burden. He took the burden of the service on his head. When Sri Rama went to the forest and asked Bharata to stay back and take care of his kingdom, Bharata did not accept the throne but took Rama's sandals and served them as his representative for 14 years. He took the burden of the god and on his head and did not give his burden to him. A servant goes to his master and says, "Oh, my master, do you have any problems? I'll solve them for you." And what is the problem of the God? He's anxious about how living beings can be liberated from the material world. That is why he comes again and again and take different avatars. And as a servant, we take his anxiety on our head. We make sure that our souls go back to the spiritual world. Bharata shows us how Rama was very worried about his kingdom would run, but Bharata took care of it. Bharata showed us that the burden of the God on our shoulder is not to give our burden to him, and that is the devotional service that you should be offering to the God. And Shatrughna is the embodiment of devotion to Shri, had the embodiment of devotion to Bharata, who was directly a devotee of Rama. So Shatrughan adoration of Rama was only because he was devoted to Bharata and he was the apple of Sri Bharata's eye. He followed the path of selfless service, ensuring all the desires and claims for his personal glory. So, Bharata teaches us another aspect of service. Shatrughan means enemy, or Ghan means to destroy. Shatrughan is the destroyer of the greatest enemy, which is lust. Shatrughan wanted to go to the forest with Rama to serve him and Sita, but he did not go and chose to stay back in the kingdom. He conquered his lust to be with the God. So if you want to be with the God on your own sake, that is called lust. But Shatrughan knew that serving to Bharata itself would make him. But Bharata, he knew Bharata would him all by himself could not manage the kingdom. So stayed back and helped Bharata and so Lakshman was ready to and he knew that Lakshman was ready to go with Rama. So he gave up the desire to be with Rama and stayed back. Shatrughan shows that in service, lust can come in different forms, and one of them is to have the desire to be in God. So even that itself is called as lust, to be with the God always. But he showed us not only serving to the God, but serving to the Bhagavatas associated with the God is also a Kainkaryam. So his Kainkaryam is the Bhagavat Kainkaryam that is the ultimate and superior Kainkaryam. So that is what Tirupavai believes in. Tirupavai kind of states that it's not only the Kainkaryam to the God is superior, but the Kainkaryam to the Bhagavatas associated with the devotion to the God is also equally superior. As a part of my presentation today, as I mentioned, Tirupavai references to Ramayana in almost every pasuk. But the one that touched my heart or my thing is the Pasuram 10 and Pasuram 12. I'm going to elaborate these two Pasurams and given a chance sometime, maybe I can deep down and dive in through the rest of the Pasurams. With what I understood, with what the teaching of Mami, these are the two Pasurams that I want to explain today or take a drop out of the massive ocean of the So Pasuram 10. As I mentioned earlier, in Pasuram 6 to 15, Godataya is kind of inviting all the gopikas or her friends around her to do the kankari, to go to the, or motivating all of the girls in the gopikas to go and do the vratam along with her to Perumal. And in Pasuram 10, she's trying to wake up a gopika who is deeply immersed in the Krishnanubhavam and is not trying to wake up. So she talks about how there is swargam in going to do this vratam. So she talks about you accepted to undertake the vratam along with us. So when she says no to Chuvarkam Kupongindra Ammanai, it is about taking and accepting the vratam along with us. But instead of going the vratam along with all of the gopikas, the particular gopika was kind of trying to enjoy the Krishnanubhutam or the heavenly state of ecstasy all by herself. So when you consider what is Swargam, Sita Devi explained to us what Swargam means very well in Ramayana. When Dasharatha ordered Rama to go to forest for 14 years in exile, first thing that Rama wanted to do was try to tell Sita Devi to stay back in Ayodhya, and so that since she was being a princess and being a Komalangi, he didn't wanted her to the to the harsh environment of the forest and to other harsh, cruel animals that was there in the forest. So when he suggested for Sita Devi to stay back in the Ayodhya palace, the first thing Sita Devi said was, "What do you mean by Swargam and what do you mean by Narakam?" And Swargam and Narakam are related to a person's own feelings. For a beggar who's begging, getting a food for a one particular time itself is Swargam. Similarly, Sita Devi says, if I stay along in Ayodhya, that is Narakam for me. The place where you are is a Swargam for me. So she goes along with the Ramayana to 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 the forest and saying that with Rama, even a forest or anything else that she can incur is always Swargam for us. So for the gopis, the Swargam is undoubtedly the place where they get the Krishnanubhavam. And through Pasuram 10, Andal explains that this Krishnanubhavam is in completing the vratam that she initiated in this Margali Masa. So when you go to each and every word to word meaning in the Pasuram itself, she talks about how going to Swargam is going to do the Vratam as explained. And she talks about how Matruvam Tararo Varsal Tiruvada, even if you don't open the doors, you can utter a word, right? She's trying to wake up the Andal who's sleeping inside. Andal is trying to wake up the gopis who's sleeping inside, and she's standing outside. It is like she's waiting for her to even say a word when she's trying to wake her up. It is like how Sri Rama was eagerly waiting to hear what Hanuman. It is like how eager Sri Rama was waiting to hear what Sita Devi said to Hanuman when he returned from Lanka. So she compares herself saying that, I'm eagerly waiting for you to reply back as eagerly as Rama was waiting to hear how Sita was and what she told about him to Hanuman. Since Anda says welcome to Kogin Ramanai, which means that the gopi was enjoying the Krishnanubhavam inside and denied to answer the same. She says, can't you even smell the the Tulsi Mala that is there on the Swami itself? And the gopi inside replies, don't know whether that the smell of the Tulsi is remained for days, not today, but the Krishna is being. So the main intent of here is Gopi is kind of trying to deny that it's not a morning and let her be in the Krishnanubhavam that she's experiencing right now, rather than going to the vratam to do the vratam in the temple. So she's trying to deny Godadevi, saying that the frequency that she can see, or Natra Tuyai Mudi means it's the Tulsi Mala that is there on her is not from Narayan or somebody else. And she talks about Pandurinal Kutrituvai within the Kumbhakaranam. So Anda is trying to say to Gopi that are you being a friend of Kumbhakaranam who slept for 6 months and woke up for 6 months. So in a deep sleep of 6 months, have you been his associate that you're sleeping for so long and not waking up in the morning? So she refers to Kumbhakarnanam here, saying in a lighter way that, uh, did Kumbhakarnanam gift you his sleep while in his deathbed? Is that the reason why you're still sleeping and not waking up? So the story of Kumbhakarna is quite familiar to us. So Kumbhakarna was given a curse, and that's the reason why he used to sleep for so long, so deep, for almost like 6 months, and woke up for the next 6 months. And Anand Tayar says in his sleep, he didn't judge what was going on in the kingdom. And when Ravana woke up, he took the wrong side, and due to his sleep, he took the wrong side and supported Ravana in the war. And whereas Vibhishana, in his wake up state, knew the differences between the right and the wrong and took the Rama's side and and and, uh, and took the right side. So probably that the Kumbhakarna lost the battle between lost the battle and died because he was sleeping and not in an awakening state. So she says, earlier there was a Kumbhakarna who slept and hence missed the opportunity of enjoying surrendering to his divine fate of Sri Rama, who incarnated to uplift the Jivatmas and interact the gratitude fought inside the Ravana and paved the way for his death himself. So in a lighter way, she says probably Kumbhakarna lost the battle. So the way you're sleeping, it looks like as the Kumbhakarna also would have lost the battle in between you two in sleeping for long hours. And that's the reason why you need to give up your sleep and come and do Kainkarya with us. And when she says Pendurinar, it means Kumbhakarna Tuyal. Kumbhakarnan's was Tuyal and yours is Pendurin. Meaning Kumbhakarnan was sleeping, but yours is, about the sleep itself, and you're not even waking up. So she says Kumbhakarna at least woke up for 6 months, but there is no. It seems like there is no fixed time for you to wake up at all. In the way that I'm trying to wake you up, you don't even want to come up and join the Kankaryam with us. So she says when she saw her waking up, when she saw that after all this conversation happened between the gopi and the Andal, Andal saw finally the gopi was waking up. And when she says Tiramai Vandu Tiriyar in the last day there, it means that she's referring to Tara Devi, who heard that Lakshmana was coming to destroy her Kishkinda because Sugriva once. So between the war between Vali and Sugriva, when Rama helped Sugriva, Sugriva promised to Rama that once you help me out, I'll help you find where Sita is. But in his bliss of attaining the materialistic world of his kingdom, of Vali's kingdom, Kishkinda, Sugriva completely forgot the vow he gave to Rama, which kind of made Lakshmana angry, and he wanted to just destroy Sugriva. So he came to the palace. So Tara Devi, when she heard that Lakshmana was at the doorstep and was about to destroy Kishkinda itself, she she didn't even know whether she was dressed, undressed, or in which state she was. She just ran to convince Lakshmana not to hurt him, and Sugriva is going to help out uh, Rama eventually. So she didn't know whether she was completely presentable in front of Lakshmana, but just ran because she was in a hurry. So she says, Taya says, like, unlike wife of Vali or Sugriva at that time, don't just come out, but make sure that you are dressed, you have the ornaments, and you are properly attired in the sense that you are. So the though the dressing here refers to a physical way of presenting, the inner meaning is we should live all our hasteism and make sure that our kainkariam is done in a well deep immersed manner and not just in a haste like Tara Devi in haste came to see Lakshmana. So that's the meaning of the and that's the meaning of Pasuram. As just re-emphasizing again few of the things. As I said, Kumbakarna kept sleeping and hence missed the opportunity of surrendering to the divine feet of Lord Lama. And he fought a sign of Ravana and paved his way to the death himself. And when I say Pendurina, it's Sri Rama incarnated to uplift the Jivatma, and instead of going on the right side, Kumbhakarna chose to sleep and chose to sleep in ignorance and refused to wake up. And Standa advises Jivatmas to refrain from all the sins with greater enthusiasm, since that is the only way we can please our Master or the Supreme Lord, Srimanarayana. Next, I want to explain Pasuram 12. So in this Pasuram also, in Tirupavai 12th Pasuram also, Andal is still trying to wake up another Gopi who is in the Krishnanubhavan state. She talks about how buffaloes with young calf, that is Ilain Katrurang male, means the buffaloes with young calves, or buffaloes like with the like the young calves, and Kannak Kirangi means through the mother buffalo overcomes the pain of her udder having excessive milk. The love of the calf is what she's worried about rather than her being in pain. Similarly, the Supreme Lord showering His divine grace on all of us, the buffalo suffers the pain of separation from the calves. Even buffalo expresses the sorrow of not feeding his calf. But why don't you understand the agony that I'm going through when I see you still sleeping? And that is what Taya is saying there. Ginjupal Shora means thinking of the calf that is not fed. The milk from the udder of the buffalo starts flowing even without the hands of the milkman, and because the buffalo is thinking about the ultimate pain that the calf is going through because of not being fed, she she's thinking about the calf and not the pain that she herself is going through. Ninjapal Shora is the clouds that take in the water from the ocean and pours as a rain in intervals. But since the mother buffalo is immersed in the thought of the calf, the milk pours as if it's pouring the, the matter of love. The milk overflowing from cow's udder is equated to our preceptors or filled with grace, who shower the divine meaning without the Supreme Lord, all the disciplines who have asked about the same. So, Nenethillai Serakum means due to the overflowing of the milk, the whole place is got wet, and due to the movement of this, it's become soggy. But why was the milkman of this house unable to perform his duty? It was because it was similar to that of Lakshmana, who was unable to continue the sacrifice to Agni or to follow his rule of being the Rajakumaram, because he was going to the forest in service to Rama and Sita Devi. This Gopala was also immersed in devotion, and hence his service to Krishna was unable to milk the cows. So she thinks that everybody in the Shriperumbutur was also immersed in the Krishnami Bhavam, that they forgot to do their duties. And that's the reason why the milk in the udder is so full that the cow is still in the pain. And that is what the first two lines reflect about in this passage. The nutshell one in this pasuram refers to good wealth. What is good wealth? It is the wealth that the Lakshmana possessed when he was serving to Rama. It's the wealth that the Gajendra received during Gajendra Moksha when he surrendered to Lord Rama. That is what the word nutshell one means in this pasuram. So the other thing that greatly refers to this parcel is the Sinathinai Tilandi Komani Shatra. Here, this talks about the 16 supreme qualities of Rama, and anger is not one of the qualities that possessed Rama. But when Rama saw that Ravana was harming many of his devotees, including a lot of rishis of Dandakaranya, Sita Devi herself, and Jatayu, Vibhishana, and Hanuman, and lot more devotees of Sri Rama, his range almost grew up, and he wanted to kill Ravana in anger, so that he he was unable to. He was fine when Ravana was shooting arrows to him. He didn't object that. He was fine to take in that kind of pain. But when he saw Ravana had shot Hanuman, his anger grew 10 times, 12 times, because a Lord can never ignore offense against his devotee, but can consider himself to be to be in pain, but he can't see his devotee in pain. So that is what Tayar is saying here. So Tayar is kind of telling her that, we need to we need to make sure that we are being in Krishnanubhavam, I mean, when the buffalo has when the buffalo has his udder full of milk, it's in pain. The pain for himself, she never worried about, but she was worried about the pain of the calf because she was not able to feed the calf because the gopan who was supposed to be milking her was sleeping in the Krishna Nubha. So she's kind of comparing all of this to to Rama's anger in making sure that he wanted to kill Ravana not in anger but anger that he was showering the arrows to him, but to showering arrows to his devotee who is Hanuman. So next word that she really elaborates is the Manatti Kimiyani. It means that singing the names of the Lord itself. So Sri Rama, whose name itself is like a more delighted and very, very near to everyone's heart. There is no more mantram beneficial than the Nama Taraka mantra. Rama is a devotee to everybody, not only to the sages, to his subjects, but also he was a dear to his enemies like Surpanaka, Vali, and Ravana himself. One of the examples that the Purvacharyas explained here is the example of him being dear to Surpanaka. Surpanaka, actually, miraculously, Surpanaka was Ravana's sister who had who, when saw Rama and Lakshmana, was in lust and wanted them to marry her. But Lakshmana, out of range, cuts the nose and ears of Surpanaka. And Surpanaka, after this, miraculously changed and her wisdom was awakened. She realized who Rama was and what the role that she had in his and Sita's life. Because of the Surpanaka being offended by Lakshmana, she went and complained to Ravana about Sita. She kind of planned for the entire thing where Sita Devi was abducted by Ravana because she praised Sita Devi's beauty in front of Ravana and kind of made it was the key factor in kidnapping Sita Devi. So after that is what made her realize her wisdom was awakened, and then she realized who Sri Rama was and what role she had played in his and Sita Devi's life. She couldn't bear the 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 path that she had run. So she went to Shukracharya and does tapasya in his ashram for several years, and her sorrow was slowly giving away to the placid game and acceptance of situations as they came. So even to a Rakshasa like Surpanaka, once knew who Rama was, she became very dear to Rama. Similarly, Vali was pierced with Rama's arrow to his chest and was caught in the throes of death. And then Vali began to abuse Sri Rama, who kind of stood in front of him at that point, but had shot an arrow to him. But as he was reaching to his end, he became very composed and rational and addressed Rama as a savior. He said, "During the time of my death, you have given me such a wisdom, and by you shooting your arrow on me has helped me achieve my my reasoning for this for my janma. And now I have understood you properly. You are the Trinity. You are the Supreme God, and you are the things that all things are in you. And the sin, dharma, enmity, and the friendship that you show here is what has made me realize that you are the supreme self." So even for Vali, who Rama bestowed an arrow and killed him, still realized that who Rama was and what was his intention of killing him and achieving, and he achieved the supreme uh, being by Rama's killing. To the Ravana, it also the first after the first days of battle, he for Ravana himself, after the first day of the battle, he realized that he realized who Rama was, and but he was so immersed in the war that he didn't wanted to just accept Rama's prowess and other qualities, and he knew that he was going to be it is going to be his last, and he knew that by doing the fight with Rama, he has achieved his ultimate reality. And also Bandodari, who knew that uh, Rama had killed Ravana, she never accused accused Rama of killing her husband, but she knew that Rama was the ultimate being and was dear to Mandodari as well. So by praising Lord, even not only his devotees and his bhaktas and his subjects are dear to him, but also his enemies were dear to him. And this also leads to us to know that Rama greatly respected ladies. He never blamed Kaikeyi uh, or even Manthara for his misfortune of going into the forest. He treated all ladies with utmost respect and addressing them as Mata. And he could have picked any other queen and took off his journey, but he always went back, fetched Sita, and to be with her. This shows all of the respect that he had for women. So, as a just to Basuram 12, it talks about how we have to be giving up all of our haste and all of our laziness, and we should be ready to serve the God as though we are ready to serve to Him with as eager as a cow is ready to serve the calf who is hungry. So in summary, I have tried to take a small drop of this vast ocean and try to present it here. I greatly thank Guru Garu for his all encouragement, Rao Garu for his guidance, and Srimati Nirmala Mami for her immense time in teaching us Tirupari meanings, and to Srimati Chitra who took and helped me come up with this presentation. And in conclusion, Ramayana and Tirupavai, both of them talk about Sharanagati, how to do Bhagavad Kankarya, and how Bhagavad Kankaryam is above Sheshatvam and Paramatma. Listening to the words of the elders and respecting to the women and nine type of bhakti is demonstrated by different Bhagavatas in Ramayana, and importance of an acharya to help us guide. And here Andal is being an acharya, trying to help us still do our day-to-day life, lead our day-to-day life, but ensure that we are in the Bhagavad Gita. In last, I want to make sure that I take pardon for all my mistakes, and I hope I have at least uh, explained few things about Tirupavai and both the ashrams. And I'm still trying to learn and trying to understand, and I'm not that proficient with Tamil language. So every time I try to go back and by heart just Tamil and Tirupavai, I'm having issues, and especially when talking to this kind of presentation, I'm not proficient enough. So I took a little help of Guru Garu's chanting itself to help me aid with this. I hope you pardon all my mistakes, and I'll make sure I'm eagerly waiting for the feedback from this presentation so that I can improve myself. Thank you.
जय बोलो पवन सुत हनुमान की जय। जय बोलो श्री सीता रामचंद्र भगवान की जय। जय श्री राम जय हनुमान। Very well presented, Janu Garu. That's so much. So blessed to hear about Tirupavai as well as your understanding of Tirupavai in terms of Ramayanam, as we've been doing Ramayanam Nitya Nirantara Seva for the past 4 years now. So it's truly a divine opportunity to hear from you. Back home, Jai Sri Ram, Jai Ram. Before we open it for everybody to share their comments or if they have any questions, let me do the concluding prayers and then we'll open it for everybody. So that way, even if somebody wants to leave, they can leave after the session. Jai Sri Ram, Jai Sri Ram. गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः ॐ असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मामृतं गमय ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः जय श्री राम जी if anybody wants to share their experiences or comments or questions, please do.
Yeah, I could go, Kalpaba. Yeah, Jai Shri Ram and Jahnavi Garu, very well presented and the slides. When I learned Tirupavai separately and listened to Ramayana, but you today's your presentation made that connection between both. So our view lo నేర్చుకోవడం it was learning about it was somebody I liked that connection, Jahnavi Garu, very well presented. And yeah, thank you for sharing all that about Tirupavai and Ramayana. Jai Shri Ram.
Thank you, Swapna.
Sri Ram, Jai Sri Ram. January, very nice. First of all, very unique topic, and thank you so much for refreshing the beautiful memories of Tirupavai and such a nice connection you brought through. So thank you so much and very nicely presented, Jai Shri Ram.
Thank you. Thank you.
Anybody else, Cindy? Okay. Nobody else?
Padma Garu, if there are no more questions, can we end early?
Definitely. Genevieve Garma, thank you so much for the presentation again. And you have brought such a beautiful, beautiful references also. Thank you so much. Jai Sri Ram.
Thank you. And again, I thank Acharya Garu and everybody else for this opportunity. And please pardon my mistakes. Thank you.
Jahnavi Garu, there was one more. Ivala class lo, even Shripad also learned about the story of Andalamba. Looking at your pictures, I was trying to tell him, and he had so many questions on it. So he learned about Tirupavai today, at least the overall briefing. Just wanted to share that.
Thank you. Thank you, Swapna Garu. Thank you.
Jai Sri Ram.
Jai Shri Ram.
Jai Sri.
Jai Shri